ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to Market Mornings. Hope everything is going well. Let me know that you all can hear me. Please type the number 1 in the chat box, the comments box. So let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. Morning, Paula. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump in. There is so much has happened so far today. Keep in mind that everything we do today is all the candidates are for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice and or recommendations. Woo! With that being said, holy macaroni, what in the world is going on? It's kind of the where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, right? Doesn't look as bad as the news actually is. Let's go grab a pen. I already have my program open. I just need to do start and pause. Let's go grab a drawing tool. Here's our 5 p.m. close. Here's our 6 p.m. open last night, right? 5 p.m. last night, 6 p.m. last night. We just continued to slide down on the ES. We gained it back, right? A little bit of a double top pattern in there, and then a nice stair step down. We started to come back a little bit about 6:30 or so, and then at 8:30, CPI came out, Consumer Price Index, which rose to 6.2%. On CNBC, they said the highest since December of 1990. Folks, if you look back at some of the things that went on there, they were showing gas prices at $4.75 a gallon for regular. There was 5 and change for the premium, I guess. It's nuts what these numbers are looking like. And they immediately start bringing analysts on, right? And they're talking about, well, it could take years to come back. It could take decades to come back. It could this, it could that. What about the Democrats? What about this? What about that? Right now, we've got to deal with what about what's going to happen in the market today. Now, we saw a little bit of a bounce come back in this morning, but still right now, we're down 15 points on the S&P. Now, I'm not disappointed. I have some rut contracts that were going against me on my bear call spreads, so I'm happy to see the market come down a little bit. I'm not happy to see a 6.2 on the Consumer Price Index. But hey, if we just keep giving money away and keep telling people, come in this country and we're going to take care of you and don't worry about everything, and you watch what's going to happen to costs, you watch what's going to happen to expenses, because if more people are taken care of, there's more programs out there. And I'm not saying the government shouldn't help those that need it. Not at all. Not at all. But I think we might be doing things a little bit overboard right now. So with that, CPI right now, as high as it is, I've got our candidates to look at today, but I'm going to be searching some other stocks to look at as well this morning to see, hey, who can we be checking out that may take a bit of a dive this morning? You know, who's got some bearish connotations to it? All right, so here's the ES. Let's go look at the YM, which is the Dow, right? Similar pattern. We're down 64 points on the Dow. Not crazy numbers, right? NASDAQ is down 102. Right, a little bit more of a dive on the NASDAQ stocks. And we look at the RUT, that's down 8 points right now. Again, I'm good with the RUT going down, right? It was down a lot more, right? It's come back 3 or 4 points right now. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, look what happened. Pulled down, ran up into the moving averages and rolling back over. We'll see if it can hold. That is roughly 50% retracement that took place there. If we look at the move from here to here, right, we came back into, about 618, 50 to 618 is where we pushed up to and we're failing off of, right? So that 2418 is the first target we look for, 2 standard deviation move. And then 2417 would be next. Let's take that off. With all that happening, Bitcoin is at 68.5, 68.5, but the darling right now is gold. I mean, look at it. Gold is up 25 points right now on gold, and it's all been since that report, right? It's just gold is a flight to safety. People are pulling money from the market and throwing it into gold to say, hey, let me get myself out of here at this point, right? And then let's see, that was 8. Yes, that big candle is the 830 candle, 830 to 835. And then you got to look at things like, well, wait a second. You know, Elon Musk is talking about taking, selling off how many shares to collect enough cash to be able to pay down 10% of his shares to be able to pay down his taxes. And what happens now to make it worse, if you have unrealized gains that these guys have to pay on, he's going to have to sell those shares. And what happens? He sells the shares, the market's crashing down, and now what? Now next year he has a credit. I mean, well, what are they doing to it there, right? Not to mention what if you look at who owns most stocks, it's the ultra wealthy. So if they have to sell them, because someone like Musk, who doesn't have any other income other than his shares, if he has to sell them, then what happens? That's going to drive the price of the stock down. That's going to cause craziness in the market. It will increase the number of shares outstanding, and it's happening all at once. Think if you went ahead and you sold millions of shares of a stock all at one time, right? I need the cash. I got to pay the tax bill. So gold is a flight to safety right now. I think there's a lot of concern with market, especially with the 6.2% today. So we're up about 23.5 points right now on gold. We get to crude. Crude was dropping for the day. It's had a nice little recovery in the last bit. Keep your eye on this 84 half level where we recently had our intraday highs, I guess you can call it, recent highs, which also coincided with this high from yesterday. And then we've got nat gas is still in a little bit of a slide. That has not recovered at all. So with that, let's go take a look at our candidates for today. I don't have a whole lot of them. First one is going to be Coinbase, COIN. All right, so Coinbase went crazy on the announcement of Bitcoin hitting 68,000, Ethereum being as high as it was. They were great yesterday, and what happened today? Boom, crashing down. Why? Earnings came out. So they closed up about 360, 358.60, somewhere around there. We'll call it 330 to make it easy math. It's about a $30 move to the downside. I will be looking at a at a bear call spread on Coinbase today. And I'll be looking at it for this week if I can get it. If not, I'm okay with this for next week. All right, Poshmark, right? Posh, $24 stock yesterday, $17 stock today. It is such a big move to the downside. My immediate reaction is bear call spread. I just don't see me getting enough premium on a bear call spread here. Possibly. I just am not sure. We have, and there are only monthly options available. So it's out there. It's news, but I'll see what it looks like when it opens. But I don't think I can get enough cash, enough premium. And if I did it, it's 9 days that I'm going to be doing this next upcoming expiration for. From Posh. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong keys. Doordash. Let's try it again. Doordash is our next one. We closed up about 190-ish. It's sitting at 225. Same scenario. Both put spread I'll be looking at here today. Hopefully it hasn't moved too much. If we pull Doordash in, the option chain in, and we look at the option chain, let's see. So we got the option chain. Let's go look at Dash. All right, so newer stock. It's not like it came out yesterday, but it's within a year it's out. We've had some lower highs setting up in here. And today we get this gap up and we're sitting at 225. All right, so where does that put us? That puts us right at this resistance level right now. We've got a resistance at 226.5. Did we actually get up there? So yesterday, yesterday we ran up over 240, 241. We actually need a new fib. I'm just realizing that this is an old fib. I don't trade Poshmark. Let's see. Let's take this out of the way. And the best way I've found to do this is not to just start drawing fibs, but to grab a drawing tool and start to draw what the fibs look like. So I've got a V bottom down here. I got this V, little one there, another one there. That's a nice strong move. That in there, right? So if I look here, if I try to come from this swing bottom here, I've got all of these little, pullbacks that have taken place in there. I'm probably best off to come from that swing low up to that swing high right there and draw the fibs from there. And that's what I initially thought it was going to be, but me just doing it and not really telling you the why doesn't help you much as you're trying to do this on your own next week, next month. So 15 to 27 is 12 points. We don't need a fib it there. How about on the top? 27 to 42 is 15. We're okay there also. Okay. So let's get back over where the moving averages are. Now we're sitting at 225. So we're sitting at 225 and jingle. Right now, 225 half. So we're very close to that resistance level right there. So for me to want to take a bullish entry on this trade, I really want to see the move up above that 227. Now, if I'm directional trading, as a spread trader, if I can get down below that 215, I will be okay. It's going to be hard to determine right now what I can and cannot do because the stock has moved 33 points. But let's take a look. So as of yesterday, the trade that we're looking at now would be the 215s, right? 215, 12 half, I think it's going to be, right? 215, 212 and a half. So we were looking at, that was only giving us 42 cents for this week as of yesterday. We've already moved 35 points. So that number is going to change drastically as far as what they wind up offering. We can go look at next week, which gives us 9 days, and look at 215, 212 and a half. As of yesterday, it was offering us 50 cents. I just don't think there's going to be much there. On this trade for this week, I really want to get at least 20 cents. For next week, I would really want to get at least 30 would be my bare minimum, but 40 cents would be really the number that I'm looking for, right, on a 250 increment, right? That gives me a decent rate of return for the risk that I'm willing to take on. So on Doordash, again, big move, so maybe a little bit harder, but that's the way we're looking at it right now. Right? And then we've got Fubo, F-U-B-O. They had earnings. Oh, by the way, Doordash is acquiring somebody, guys. And that is where the second part of it comes back. Let me go back to this. They're acquiring Wolt, whoever Wolt is. This run-up that's happened here may or may not be news that sustains itself. If I can get myself a bullish trade going on today, a bull put spread, and we start to rock, that's great. If you see over the next 2 or 3 days, the news starts to wane and the stock continues to drop down, especially off of that 227 level, which is our zero line, I will definitely be looking at the potential of trading it in the opposite direction, right? The overall pattern had been bearish before this announcement. So what else fundamentally has changed about the company? Yeah, and it looks like they've got earnings coming out yesterday. So I don't know. Well, that may be part of. Nope, didn't say earnings. When I looked at it, I didn't hear anything on earnings for it. Just you got to keep your eye on it. Watch out. I don't know if the earnings came out yesterday in the pre-market or during market, and that was what drove it down yesterday. But just the overall pattern had been bearish with lower highs and lower lows, right? That gap up on this type of buyout news, not they're being buyout, they're buying unless there's some great benefit to them, a new marketplace, a new product, a new system, something that is going to save them a lot of money. You may see this wean over the next couple of days. All right. Fubo. Alan said, purchased a new vehicle in December of 21. Comps are selling above our purchase price as of yesterday. Oh, yeah. Alan, I have a 2020 Explorer, and I get letters, emails from the dealership all the time saying your vehicle is worth more than you paid for it. We'll buy it back. You buy a new one. Great. They want to put me into a new vehicle with a higher payment than I have now. I don't know, because if my vehicle is more money, guess what? So is the other vehicle. And you might not be able to get what you want because we don't have the chips. I have a friend of mine in Ford, big guy in Ford, retired now, but the connections are still there. And he is trying to buy himself a car and he can't get his hands on it. They told him you could be waiting a year for the chip for your vehicle. So, all right, Fubo. Let's go back there. We started and then stopped. Fubo came out with earnings. We'll be looking at a bear call spread on Fubo today. And then we've got Google. Now, Google is a big one to me. When I first looked at Google this morning, all I saw was a little dash, right? 7 o'clock in the morning, I saw we were down. And we had a couple of dashes last night, but that was it. You know me, if you've been following along with me for a while, you know me when it comes to just seeing those hash marks. I'm not that excited about, this is a good one to consider. No, not really. Now, the news that came out is they're going the EU. It was a antitrust case that came out for $2.8 billion. It doesn't look good for them. They're going to have to pay it, blah, blah, blah. So could be good news, could be bad news, right? Bad news, we didn't think we were going to have to pay it. Good news, it's only $2.8 billion. If you can actually, oxymoron, only $2.8 billion, right? That if you can put those two words together. But Google, you can look at the last bar, has been huge. Now, with news that's out today on CPI, with the news that's out on Google today, based on what I see on the Google chart, this is one that we want to take a look at and consider possibly as a bearish trade. So let's go look first at a daily chart. And I like to trade Google, right? So they closed at 29.78 yesterday. And right now, we're at 29.48. So let's go find 48 on our chart. So right there, I'm going to move it to 29.48. I said, was it 29.48? My bad. 29.48. Okay. 29.48. So we are right on top of this fib line. You see this blue line extending out? That's where we are. That's where we're sitting right now. So now, and here's the thing. We have a confluence with our 8 moving average there, right? That pink line that is sitting right there. This is honey to me. This is beautiful to me. So what am I looking for? Am I trading it bullish or bearish? Yes, I'm trading it bullish or bearish. I really need to see how the reaction is. Again, the news of we got to pay it could be deemed as good of, you know what? It's over. It's done. It's out of the way. We can move on to something else. We don't want to have to pay it, but at least we know what's going on. It could be perceived that way. And if it is, we may see a bounce. If that's the case with the fib line there and the 8 moving average there, I love the confluence. I want to look for the bounce, right? Well, what if it fails, right? And it breaks down below that fib line. Well, if it does, so here's the pattern. Here's what has to happen, right? For this to move up, right now we moved down to that level. I needed to bounce off of there to take an entry, bullish. Well, what if it continues to slide instead? Okay. Well, if we continue the slide, meaning we break down, I need to break down below that fib line, come back and retest it and fail, and there's my entry. And if that's my entry, 2,900 is my support level. So I should be able to get out of 29.05, 6, somewhere around there. I'm not saying it'll guarantee to get there, but I have a clear path to get to that support level. So if we see the weakness and it continues to push to the downside, that's what we'll be looking at, right? Could you do an iron condor? Could you do a strangle, a straddle? You can get crazy on it. I'm going to just pick a direction, right? Could I buy a call versus buy a put? Yes, you can. If you look right now and remember, things have happened since yesterday. Well, what things? Well, the first thing is 1 day has gone by, right? That's the very first thing that's happened. We have one less day until expiration. So we pull the option chain over and we look at, now if I'm day trading this, it's weekly options. Now look what's happened. The market maker is just playing games. 560 by 2560. Everything is 2560 by 550, 560, right? It's just silly. Hold on. That's actually a spread. Let's go to single. All right. So let's go find first a call option from this week that has close to 65 delta. Not lower than, but close to a 65 delta. All right. So here we have 64 delta at 2,900. And again, we've moved already today, right? Or we will move today. We'll see value change because of the day going by. But that may be offset by the 30-point move in the opposite direction, as well as the volatility around the announcement. But we've got an opportunity on Google at this 65. Can't do the 65. There's not enough open interest. Would I be okay going to 64? Yeah, you'd be fine with a 64 delta. We're looking at 80 by 87, we'll call it. So there's a tremendous spread there. I don't know what the spreads looked like last night, so I can't say if this is an overreaction to the morning, to the news, or if this is something that that we're seeing because of just it's Google, right? So I don't know what we're resetting prices overnight and so forth. So I'm not 100% sure on it. When we look at put options, let's go find a 65 delta on puts. See, here's my 68 delta on my puts, and we're at $17. You see the disparity here, right? Something is off on the calls, big time, right? 64 delta, we're looking at $80. If we go to next week's options, and let's go look at a 65 delta, 64 delta, we're at $104. So we're off on the numbers somewhere. I mean, there's a tremendous difference, double the volatility on the puts, the calls than there is on the puts, right? More than double. But that's my major one for today. Guys, what stocks do you want to look at here today? Drop them in, drop them in, drop them in. Let me know. Patty went in right away. Actually, it was Alan. Went in right away and put Tesla in there. I brought the name up, but we didn't really look at him. So let's go check it out. Right? There's Elon selling off 10% of his shares, right? Or talking about selling it off. Brought us down to a neutral bias. I'm looking at that 1,000 level as support, Alan. If we can get a bounce off of there, you can consider a potential short-term bullish trade. If it breaks the 1,000, we're looking at 900 as our next stopping point. And I like Tesla much better at 900 than I did at 1,300. That is without a doubt. What stock was that on the gap trade, Patty? You're talking about on Google? $40 on Google is not a normal gap fill. Let's see. Karen's asking for Netflix. Google will be my number one today to be looking at, by the way. Right? Not on our normal list, but because it showed up here, we're checking it out. So on Netflix, Patty, we need to get, Karen, we need to get back above that 8 moving average to take any kind of bullish trade. I don't know where it is in pre-market, but it's not looking good. But that 8 moving average, we got to get above the 662 level. And we've got support at 657, that fib line. So we need a little bit of movement first. Tech, TECK. And that was Paula's asking for tech. So on tech, I don't have any fibs drawn on it. Lower price stock, we can drop a fib right here. Actually, the fib belongs here. So good place where it's at. If we get the bounce on tech, Paula, off of that 27 level, just get above the 8, which is 27.5, and you're looking at 29.20 as resistance level. Let's see. Karen said, okay, on Google, what about the bearish trade? Yeah, the bearish trade is, I think it was Google, the breakdown below, the retest and the fail. I'm not looking on the gap for it to fill. I just think it's too big of a news and too big of a gap fill for Google to give us a viable potential move. But yeah, bearish trade, you've got a clear and concise entry. As long as you can break the 29.49, retest it and fail, yes, there's an entry. And that's what I'll be looking for that. Right? CVX. And then we got one more in there we'll look at, and then we're done on those. So CVX right now, energy, right? So, I mean, rocking. I mean, listen, just prices go up, so gas goes up. They didn't say, well, our cost went up 30 cents, so raise price 30 cents. It's our cost went up 30 cents, so raise price 45 cents, right? They raised it more, so they're making more money in the environment as well. Pull back to the 8 is all I'm looking for, Gene, on CVX, right? So there's the opportunity, and 118.75 is resistance. PUBM, $32 stock. I don't really have anything fib-wise drawn on here. Not one that I normally look at, so we can snap a fib, though, right there. I would really want to see the pullback to the moving average. Well, you got earnings. If that's, I don't know if it's from last night or today, but I really want to see that pullback to the 8 first and the bounce. 33.84 is your resistance, Lisa, on POMB, right? Which is Pubmatic. So there's your one for that. Guys, make sure, gals, make sure you go ahead and listen. We've had so many of you go and take advantage of it the last couple of days. It's been great. Go over to tradinglikeaboss.com. This Trade with Rob trade setup that we put in there is fantastic. We kill it on there on a regular basis. Do we have trades go against us? Yes. We've had 6 of them go against us, and maybe 7 after today. Who knows? But we had 6 of them go against us since we started, and we've done about 30 trades, right? We're up over 20 grand on our trades, and that's only doing 2 contracts. So if you did 1, you'd be up a little over 10 grand on your paper trades. But go ahead over to tradinglikeaboss.com. All of these are free resources that you can take advantage of. So do just that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed it. Was the show helpful? Was it good? Did you pick up some tips for today? You got some candidates? Let me know down in the notes below what ones you're looking at that I didn't talk about today. I'd love to take a look at those as well. For myself, maybe I'll get a good candidate for me to trade on today. So with that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. If you like what you see here, folks, like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. We'd love to hear about it. All right. Take care, everyone. I will see you at the next one. Bye for now.